Jim Miller here. Making a video today, a different format than we usually do. This is actually a Q&A. So I asked on social media, I asked all you guys, to throw your questions at me, anything you want. It could be about business, it could be about life. And Cindy from my team went through all of them and picked out, I don't know, 7 or 8 of these questions. And I have not seen these yet, so I'll be reading these for the first time and giving you my genuine answers to what they are. So let's go ahead and jump in here. The first one is, what's your favorite way to unwind after a busy day? That's Noah from Illinois. Uh, Noah, spending time with my son is number one. But as he is now in his teen years, that's more and more challenging for me to achieve. I can't compete with Fortnite. Next up would be a bike ride. I love cruising around, especially on the boardwalk by the ocean. I live in El Segundo, California, which is a Los Angeles beach town. So it's a short bike ride to the beach, and then I can head north to Marina Del Rey or Santa Monica. It's an easy ride. Usually I go south to like El Porto, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa. It's just gorgeous. These aren't like dudes in spandex bike rides, by the way. It's a big e-bike cruiser thing, but that's my favorite way to travel on land and kind of clear my head and get a little bit of exercise in the process. All right, next question. What is a surprising hobby or interest that you have that most people wouldn't guess? Jason from Texas. Um, that people wouldn't guess. Well, playing drums is the big one, but the question is when people wouldn't guess. So I'll say it's just being outside. And anyone who knows me well knows that if I can be outside, I'll be outside. I think that's part of why I moved to Southern California from Chicago 23 years ago. So the caveat is that I'm not one to enjoy sitting idle. So I can't just sit. I don't enjoy what most people refer to as relaxing. So I do a lot of work in the yard. If one of my neighbors were here, they would tell you that they probably see me outside all the time in the front yard doing something. If they don't see me outside, it's likely because I'm working in the backyard. I mowed my lawn until just about a month ago, and where I turned over the reins. And it's not because I turned over the reins. I loved mowing the lawn, but my lawn is a difficult lawn, and so I spent more time. There's like this gates and stuff. I spent more time like with the weed whacker and the edger than I did just like zenning out and mowing. And so I didn't enjoy that anymore. And so yeah, passed that on to someone else, but I still do all the landscaping and, just all kinds of stuff up there with plants. Am I overwatering, underwatering, planting new things, all that. So doing a lot of that stuff. And I don't know, I guess not to go too long in this question, but I also really enjoy organizing things. As weird as that might sound to some of you. So not cleaning in like the break out the Windex and rag sense. I don't enjoy that, but really organizing things. So old drawers, throwing out stuff, recycling things, getting new contraptions to make things more organized, simplifying and tidying things up. I genuinely sleep better when things are organized. Okay. Next question. What's a belief you had 5 years ago that you've completely changed your mind about? Andrew from Texas. Um, 5 years ago. I'll just go to when I started my business. January of 21 is when I started Astero Group. And I would say don't try to be everything. So when you start a business, everyone tells you to pick a niche. To me at the time, that meant choosing one type of business vertical to focus on, such as, tech, SaaS, construction, whatever. And what I learned after a couple of years with the Astero Group is that we could be pretty industry agnostic, and that was okay. It just depended on the CFO talent that we had available. So niching down for us, I learned, meant focusing on the services we provide. So if you think of accounting as three pillars, bookkeeping, which is historical, CFO advisory work, which lives in the future, and tax. I was trying to do all three. And by niching down on the services we provide, which is now exclusively CFO future advisory work, that was just such a clear picture. And so now we work with all different types of clients, and it's worked really well for us. So figure out, what niching down means to you, because it could be different than, what you're initially interpreting that message to be. That was a big one for me. Um, Next question. Oh, this is interesting. I usually see you in white shirts, no logos. What's your wardrobe really like behind the scenes? Mike from California. That's a funny question. First of all, because I'm wearing a shirt with my hometown logo on it right now, which is actually really unusual. I wear this shirt probably once a year. I had it custom made online, but very unusual. I'm wearing this. I don't know why I picked it today. Um, I like to reduce my decision making as much as possible. So I have t-shirts, collared shirts, short sleeve, and like long sleeve collared shirts, couple blazers. Most, if not all of each category is by the same brand. And so by that, like all the t-shirts are the same brand, all the collared short sleeve shirts are mostly the same brand. Those are a little mixed. And the long sleeve shirts are all the same brand, Untuck It. Couple blazers. So a handful of pairs of pants, they're all the same brand, Jack Archer. A handful of shorts, they're all the same brand, Lulu. Boxers, they're all the same brand. Um, then recently I had an epiphany with my socks. So I had multiple brands of socks and I really only preferred one of the brands and styles. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I can just go buy socks. It was like one of those moments, like where you might be a billionaire, which I'm not, by the way, but and you're like questioning, should I get, the guacamole on my, bowl at Chipotle or something? It's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Just do it. So I was like, why don't I just throw out the socks I don't like and get new ones? It's probably going to be, $30. So I threw them out. I bought like 24 pairs of the ones I do love, and I just have them in a line in the drawer of my closet. I use the FIFO method with my socks, by the way, first in, first out. It maximizes their useful life. If you looked at my closet, most people would say it's a very small wardrobe. I don't think I have anything fancy at all. Maybe one of my blazers was a little more than I wanted to spend. Clothes are not an area where I like to spend money or really care to spend money. I wear $55 sneakers every day. Next question. Do you have a go-to productivity hack that helps you get through your day? Emily from Florida. Emily, first you need to convince yourself that your time is really valuable, and you really have to like believe that because it'll change how you make a lot of these decisions. And once you believe that, you truly believe it, you need to protect your time and your schedule as much as possible. So that could mean if someone invites you to a meeting, make sure there's an agenda. Don't waste time in meetings that don't have a point or they're just recurring for no reason. And it's good to challenge people on that in the right way. In order for a prospect to be able to connect with you, or in my case, like you want to make sure they meet all the criteria and are truly a representation of the avatar that your business works with. So, for example, on the Astero site, to even get a meeting with us to consider CFO services and learn more about that, you need to meet 3 or 4 different criteria that we require in order to work with us. And if not, it's just a waste of time for everyone. So make it really tough. For people to be able to access you. And that also means saying no to a lot of things. And that doesn't mean it has to be, was it Derek Sivers who said, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. And I think that's really true in most cases. If it's not like a hell yeah, then make it a no and do that for a couple of years and then maybe scale it back, but until you achieve what you want to achieve. All right, next question. What's one lesson you learned early in your entrepreneurial journey that still sticks with you today? David from Utah. David, I would say fire bad clients. The revenue isn't worth it. The headache isn't worth it. And your team, if you have one, they'll respect you more for it. Next question. If you had to start over today with no contacts and $10,000, 10K, what would you build? Russell from Virginia. I mean, I'd start a service-based business that caters to wealthy individuals, and it would leverage LLM, large language models, to prospects and just really create a funnel and a process that's packageable that you can then roll out to other people or, AI bots or whatever you want to do. I deliver a lot of value on social media. This could be a fractional CFO firm, an even more premium one. And then after that, I don't know if this is what you're asking, but once I had $1 million, maybe $500,000. I do some investing in other businesses and real estate to offset the taxes. Real estate is the best way to do that, investment properties. So growing asset-based wealth is going to be key in the coming years. You're going to want to own stuff, even if just fractionally. Trust me. Well, you don't have to trust me, but that's my belief. All right. Last question, I think, right? Yep. Last question. What is one piece of advice you'd like to leave everyone with? Josue from New York. Create more than you consume. Create more than you consume. It's even a subchapter in my book, Budgeting Doesn't Have to Suck, the starting on empty chapter, I think. So, create more than you consume is the number one concept I try to get into my son's mind. If anything I say to him sticks, I hope it's that. I also grill him every time he uses the word I can't, and that'll probably backfire too. But anyway, create more than you consume means just what it says. And if you're sad, create more. Because if you're consuming, you're watching stuff, I don't know how people, binge watch these Netflix shows and stuff. It's just, for me, it's very draining. It doesn't mean you have to write a novel or create a new studio album or, start the next NVIDIA or reinvent the wheel. It could be drawing a picture. It could be creating a new relationship, but you always want to make sure that your creating thermometer is higher than your consuming thermometer. It's better for your brain chemicals. It's better for every aspect of your life, and it'll make you a better person, in my opinion. Anyway, I think that was it. I hope this was interesting. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave it in the comments. I really genuinely would love to hear from you. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Take care.